Hi, welcome back to my channel, Beautiful Minutia. If you're new here, my name is Tiffany, and today I wanted to chat with you about some books that I think slash hope will be 5-star reads for me. I like to do these videos quarterly because when I first started my channel, I did one for the whole year and then forgot to read a whole bunch of those books. So when I'm doing it quarterly, I can look ahead at what I'm already planning to read that quarter and see if there's anything that sticks out at me that I feel like I'm really gonna love. Usually when I do these videos, I also review my previous 5-star predictions and let you know whether or not they were 5 stars. But apparently I didn't do a 5-star prediction video for the first quarter of 2026. Or if I did, I can't find it because I looked everywhere for it and I feel like I remember making one, but I can't find it. So I'm not going to be reviewing any books here. This is solely going to be predictions for the second quarter that I think are books I'm really going to love. We're kicking off with Rilla of Ingleside, which technically is a reread because I think I read this when I was like 12 or 13, but I remember not one thing about it, which has been my experience rereading most of the Anne books that I've been reading with Stephanie. I only reread the first 3 books as an adult, so I haven't remembered anything that comes after those. So I'm really excited to read this one. This is the final book in the Anne of Green Gables series, and this is about Rilla, which is Anne and Gilbert's youngest daughter. In the books that she's been in previously, she has been very young, like not even school-aged, I don't think, at the end of Rainbow Valley. Maybe she was like in kindergarten or like a really young age, but I don't think she was even quite that old to go to school. So in this book, she's 15 and it's more of a coming of age story. I do know that it also takes place during World War I, and I haven't read very many books that take place during that time period. So I think that would be an interesting aspect of it as well. And I love Ellen Montgomery's beautiful writing. However, not every book of hers that I've read has been 5 stars. Even within the Anne series, there's been quite a few of the books that have been 4 stars. So the reason why I think this one's going to be 5 stars when I didn't make those predictions for the other books is because people talk about the long-lasting impact that this book had on them. So people who love it really love it, and then there are people who read it and were emotionally devastated by it and are like, reading it once was enough. And so I think if you feel that way about a book, if you have such a strong emotional connection to the characters and you feel that level of sadness, I feel like there's a really good chance it's going to impact me that strongly as well, and that it'll be a 5 star. So here's hoping. Another book that I anticipate, or at least hope, will be 5 stars for similar reasons actually is Silence by Shusaku Endo. And this one is, I'm pretty sure, about some priests who are in Imperial Japan, perhaps. Yes, it is a 17th century Portuguese priest in Japan at the height of the fearful persecution of the small Christian community. And so I know that this is a book that is gutting to a lot of people. It's very thought-provoking and has a lot of struggle of this priest who is experiencing intense persecution and watching people around him suffer and kind of grappling with his faith in those moments of where is God in suffering. And so I feel like this is going to be a really hard hitter and one that'll really stay with me. That doesn't always necessarily mean that a book ends up being 5 stars, but I do think this one has potential. This next book is the only one out of these predictions that I don't actually own. And it feels almost unfair to put it on this list because I know it's going to be a slam dunk, and that's Fool's Fate by Robin Hobb. This is book 3 of the Tawny Man trilogy, which is the 3rd trilogy in her overarching realm of the Elderling series, which is a 16-book series split up into 5 different series. So I've heard a lot of people tell me that the Tawny Man trilogy is their favorite trilogy out of the whole bunch. And since I've already read the first 2 books, that's why I'm like, is it unfair to say it's going to be 5 stars? But I don't care. It's kind of nice to have a book in there that I'm like very sure will be 5 stars. Although the second book of this trilogy did not quite make it to that 5-star mark. It was like more like 4.5, which is still very close. But it didn't quite reach that mark. I think it kind of suffered just a little bit with that second book syndrome that often happens in trilogy, where it just is kind of building up and building up and building up for the third book. So interestingly enough, I think this third book, in a similar vein to the Farseer trilogy, which is the first trilogy, I think that this is going to be very much a journey-centric book based on the plot line that I know of so far, which I'm not going to share really much of that with you because I don't want to spoil the previous two books for you. But it definitely feels like we are going to be going on a long journey, which is something that also happened with the concluding book of the Farseer trilogy. I just love being in this world. I love being back with Fitz because we were not with him during the Live Ship Trader series, which is the second series. So I love having him as a narrator and I love being with him. I love seeing the growth that's happened in him from the first trilogy to now because he's no longer a child at this point. He's in his 30s and some of his observations and the way that he sees the world has changed. And as he is encountering people who were the same age as him in those first books, he has the wisdom and hindsight now that he did not have in those books, which I find really endearing and really wonderful to just see that growth. I have no idea how this trilogy is going to end and how a lot of these threads that have been introduced are going to wrap up. But it's Robin Hobb and I trust her, and so I think I'm gonna love it. Usually I only do 3 books, but I'm including a 4th book because this is a book that I wanted to pick up during middle grade March and didn't have an opportunity to do so, but I did mention it as a possibility in my middle grade March vlog. And when I did that and posted that video, I had a couple of people in the comments being like, oh my gosh, that book is so fantastic. And so I feel like I really need to pick this up and it's going to be a really short read. So I feel like it'll be really easy to squeeze it in at some point during this next quarter. And that's When Stars Are Scattered. This is a memoir by Omar Mohammed, and then Victoria Jameson has adapted it and illustrated it to make it a graphic novel, which is why I said that it's going to be like a really quick read because it is a graphic novel rather than, actually a novel, although a middle grade reads pretty quickly anyway, but a graphic novel will read even quicker. This is a story about 2 brothers in a refugee camp and their experiences through that. I think everyone that has shared with me about this book, how much they love it, have all talked about how much they cried. So I think that there's a theme in my 5-star predictions in this video that I think all of the books that I'm predicting will be 5 stars are kind of heavier hitter books that will probably make me cry, or I'm anticipating that they'll make me cry because Hobb always makes me cry. But I feel like this one probably will too, and just love the illustrations. Like I know I flipped through a little bit, but I just think it's just I'm really looking forward to this one, and I'm sad that I didn't have the time to pick it up in March like I had hoped. But I think when I do pick it up, I do think that I'm absolutely going to love it. I've yet to hear anyone say that they didn't enjoy it. Well, those are my 5-star predictions for this upcoming quarter. And hopefully I have all slam dunks in these predictions. I'm really hoping that, especially because, as I mentioned in, I think, my wrap-up video for March, I have not had very many 5-star books this year. I have had 2, and any other 5-star book that I've had have been rereads, and I don't really count those as 5 stars because I do, but they're not like a new favorite. I've already read them, so I know they're going to be 5 stars because I've already read them. So I really hope that this upcoming quarter is just full of books that I absolutely love that make it into some favorites because I don't have very many top books from the first quarter. So hopefully these are slam dunks. I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below. If you have read any of these books, I would love to hear your thoughts. And if you have any books coming up that you're really excited about that you anticipate will be 5 stars for you, I would love to hear about that as well. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please hit like and also subscribe so you can continue to see more bookish content from me. And I will see you again next time.